Well, hello and welcome everybody. Stacy Murphy here with Dreaming Earth. Welcome to day 2 of Imagine. You're in for a real treat today, and we are going to be moving a lot of energy today. So get ready. If you are unfamiliar with me and Dreaming Earth, we are essentially here to highlight your big vision. We want to know, and so go ahead and post in the chat box who you are, where you're tuning in from, and your big vision, because the reason why we hosted this event is because we know that there are some really beautiful dreams in the world that want to come into physical reality, and there is more that is calling your name, and you feel the call of whatever you want to call it, whether it's spirit or your multidimensional self or source energy or extraterrestrial beings or whatever you want to call it. You feel the energy that is calling you into the more of who you are, and you are wanting to bring more of you into this physical reality. And so let us know in the chat box where you're tuning in from, your vision for what you feel is your next dream. And I'm opening up my chat over here so I can see. So if you're just joining us, Stacy Murphy here, Dreaming Earth. And Dreaming Earth is a venture studio and academy. And we basically incubate very early stage ideas. We incubate at the level of energy. So consciousness moves energy into form, which means that you are a being, you are a multidimensional being of light, and you are here in this physical place, and you are focusing what you want into this existence. Your consciousness is focusing that energy into form. So we would love to hear from you. Go ahead and post in the chat box. I'm double checking to see if I can see the chat box. So Cosmic Josh, we've got Orange County, launch a TED-like platform for human awakening. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. There are billions coming online, awakening to the dream. And really, what Dreaming Earth is all about is a recognition that we are dreaming right now. We are dreaming in our wake state. We're also, when we're asleep, we're dreaming, and we're bringing those visions into this physical world as well. And today we have an incredible day for you. And I just want to say first, I'm really grateful that you're here. I'm really grateful because not only are you here, but I want you to acknowledge that you brought all of your non-physical team, and you may be able to feel them, your angels, your guides, your loved ones that have crossed over, your intergalactic council, your elemental energies, you've brought all of that to the table. So I just want to say thank you for being here and honoring the call to be here and bringing yourself and your multidimensional self. I'm honoring all the energy that's here. I really appreciate it. And who is ready we're going to move a lot of energy with this 5 doors of perception. Are you guys ready for this? So first I want to do a little invocation for the day. And this is something that I do every morning. This is something that you can do. I do a quick invocation to call in all the energies and to allow the energies that are in alignment with you to be present, and the ones that don't serve you to not be here. So what we're going to do, you can close your eyes for this, or you can leave them open, whatever you want. I like to close my eyes for this just to tap into my helpers and say, I'm going to first inhale into my heart. So take a deep inhale and inhale into your heart. And just let go of whatever no longer serves through your mouth. Ah, boom. Whatever you want. Quick invocation here to the Divine Mother, the Holy Father, to all that is, to the Supreme Being, to all the great, great ones, to Mother Earth and Father Sky, to all of our ascended masters who are here to play with us, to all of our ancestors that are walking in the 4 directions, to all of our angels, our holy angels, our healing angels, our archangels, and to all of our amazing family that has transitioned, that may have been physical, that is transitioned, to all of our spirit guides, our non-physical friends who are helping us on our path. And I keep seeing, again today, I keep seeing the lilac dragon, the lilac fire dragon, mantis beings, see who you see in your imagination. Oh, I see the elementals coming in. And I just wanted to say thank you for your infinite wisdom. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your support, your blessings, your healing, your magic, your miracles. We're just going to ask that you put up a little bubble around us of beautiful pink energy that allows us to feel the more of who we are, that highlights our authentic soul, and clears the space of any energies that don't serve us, that any energies that are not in alignment with our core desires, any energies that are not needed. And just feel them clearing your space a little bit for you. And with that, we thank you with respect, with honor. We love you. All right. So let's talk about the 5 doors of imagination. I want you to stay in your heart. So you might have found this beautiful balance in your heart where you can feel your non-physical. I want you to imagine that you are your center point. You are a physical entity here on planet Earth, but all of the entities are looking through your eyes and experiencing this moment with you. And so I want you to experience this stadium full of helpers all around you and have them watch this with you through their perception as well. It's going to open even more doors for you. All right. So let's talk about 5 doors of imagination. And Einstein was totally in connection with all of these energies. And Einstein said, logic is limited. Logic gets you from A to B. Imagination gets you everywhere. And so this is why we focus on imagination. It opens doors. It's about our intuition. It's about our creativity to connect to another perception. And that's all that's happening, is that you have many versions of you, and they might be archangels, they might be dragons, they might be elementals, they might be the Gaia energy itself. There's all these perspectives that you have access to. And when you allow yourself to be creative and say, I wonder what the trees have to say about this. I wonder what Father Sky has to say about this. You tap into the imagination that's there for you and you see new possibilities. Let's talk about the axolotl. The axolotl is the poster child of regeneration. Your cells are regenerating billions of times every second. It is your physical body is actually inside of your consciousness. It is rejuvenating, regenerating, repurposing all the time. So we know that an axolotl, if you cut off its arm, in 40 days, it will regrow the entire arm, including bones, ligaments, everything. It will reverse heart and spinal and brain injury within days. You have access to this as well because you're a part of consciousness, and you can tap into the perspective of the axolotl and say, I'm regenerating billions of times per second. All right. So I want you to tap into that energy through these doors that we're going through today, knowing that you're going to skip through timelines if you like, just by noticing how your cells are repopulating with this energy of love, this energy of rejuvenation. Now, here's the thing. You might have witnessed amazing feats. I've witnessed people breaking their bones and healing them in real time, in minutes, walking away with a completely healed bone. And I've watched somebody cut off a finger and for it to regrow, like an axolotl regrows everything. Now, those are my experiences. And I know that the physical body is regenerating all the time. And I have a knowing of that and I've witnessed it. So now I know it even more because I've seen it in real life, in my life. Now, sometimes we think, well, it's one thing to heal cancer or it's one thing to heal the body, but it's another thing to do business. And so I want you to just pay attention that that same thing that is healing your body, if you know that you can heal your body, if you know that you can cut yourself open, you can literally take a knife and cut yourself open and it will heal itself, right? It'll scoop itself back up and it'll regenerate itself. You don't even have to necessarily do anything if it's a minor cut. You don't have to do any energy work or anything. It just fixes itself because you expect it's going to fix itself. So how can you harness that same knowing in business? So just a reminder of quantum physics for those of you who are unfamiliar. You are quantum physics in action because you are a being of light. You are filled with light. And what light energy is at the core is a frequency, it is waves. And what happens is that you are this quantum system that is in superposition. So you are in multiple states at once. You are these wave functions. And then once you measure it, it focuses it. However you measure it, the active observation is going to focus it into being. When you make that measurement, you say you force the system to collapse and choose one thing. So right now, you're choosing to focus yourself into this experience here with me now. And you could choose another version of you that's in the field, and everything is happening simultaneously. There is no time and space beyond this here and now. Everything is happening now. You could, if you really believed you could time jump from right now to another version of now to another version of now, if you were really to allow yourself to do it. But we enjoy time and space because we like the learning of things. We like the wisdom of observing ourselves in action. We like melting chocolate on our tongue. It's delicious. It's amazing. We love watching things grow and say, I did that. And so we love time and space for those reasons. And when you really understand how time and space works, you can be anywhere and you do it with your imagination. You can jump, and those worlds are real. Anything you can imagine, those worlds are really there. And when you jump into that reality, you're pulling relevant information to this now reality that's going to help you in this version of you. So you're collapsing this wave function all the time. And you just got to catch yourself doing it to know that you can. And I've said this before, we're going to talk about it during the psychic games as well. Humans only see 0.003% of the electromagnetic spectrum. They only hear between 20 and 20,000 hertz. That means that you're only experiencing less than 1% of reality. That means your human potential is way larger than you believe. And if you can tap into that more, which is exactly why we're here, tapping into the more of who you are, you're going to have access to more information. You're going to have access to new ideas, new inspirations, new insights, new awarenesses, new consciousnesses that you didn't even know were there. And so really that's what DNA is doing all the time, is it's this orgasmic sharing of information. Your DNA is a crystalline structure that is constantly downloading, receiving. You are a receiver more and more of the information all around you. So we're going to talk about these 5 doors of imagination, and then I'm going to ask during the quantum activation that you practice these, and then you're going to have a chance to share at the end. So we're going to move pretty quickly through this next segment. So get ready to move some energy here and just feel. I want you to be in your body as much as you can. If you need to move your body as we go, if you need to stretch as we go, do it. If you feel very focused and it feels good to sit still, sit still. So the first door of perception, and by the way, I did this purposefully, that these 5 doors of imagination spell the word dream, because we are inside of the dream right now. We were in non-physical, and we all came together and we said, you know, it'd be really fun is if we did that thing. We went into the physical plane and you did this and you did that and you did that. And I wonder what would happen. Wouldn't that be fun to learn those things together? So we are inside the dream. So these 5 doors of imagination spell dream. So that'll help you remember what they are. And there's many doors. I have seen as many potentials as you can imagine, billions, trillions, more than you can count. The number of grains of sand on a beach is not infinite, but you can't count them. So that's how many doors of imagination there really are. You have very specific doors that you open when you know how your imagination works. So that's one of my goals, is to help you understand how your doors work so that you can activate them regularly, consistently, so that you can choose where to focus your time, space, reality. So daydreaming. Here we are daydreaming. And there's a level of daydreaming which I call imagisensing. And so what this is kind of the state of this little boy here with this big giant globe in his arms. He's imagining the world, the world where he has received everything, all of his dreams are true. and he's holding all of it in his arms, and he's sensing. He's not necessarily using just vision. He's using every sense. And so the way to do this is essentially, we're going to do this in the quantum activation, is we get into our heart and then we feel and we start asking questions about, what am I tasting? What am I touching? What am I smelling? What am I seeing? And sometimes it's not logical. Sometimes you'll see a big business idea, a big business vision. But guess what? That might not be the destination. The destination might be much better than that. It's the way you feel about that vision. So I'm more interested in how it feels, not about some big thing that's way in the future. I'm interested in how it feels right here, right now in your body. And when you do this, you might taste lemons, you might smell something, or you might feel something. Like you might be like, whoa, plaid, whoa. And so Spaceballs is one of my favorite movies because of the intersection of consciousness and humor. And so could you get to the place in your imagisensing where you trust, I smelled lemons, therefore I'm just going to focus on lemons. I don't know what it means. I'm just going to, or I saw plaid, I'm just going to focus on whatever, wherever I am shown plaid, that is me telling me that I'm on the path. And so I'm going to be on the lookout for evidence of plaid. All right. So imagisensing, we're going to do that during the activation. Revisioning, we did this yesterday. So imaginative intelligence means that every moment is here and now. That means that if you have a memory in the past or a memory of the future, and guess what? It's the same thing. If you can remember the past, you can remember the future. So if you have a memory of the past that you don't prefer, where your dream didn't come true, then when you rewrite that, when you revision that, when you decide that that is true, you rewrite all your timelines across all timelines. This is imaginative intelligence. And if you could, but you have to feel it. You can't just rewrite it logically. You have to feel it and receive it. And I do this with clients. It takes a little bit more time to explain. We'll do a little bit in the quantum activation here, but I'll give you an example. In 2009, I started BK Farmyards, which was a decentralized urban farming network in Brooklyn. We created FarmShare, which was an open source platform for sharing resources so that people could share their land, farmers could use that land, borrow that land, and then farmers could create a whole list of all the resources they need from the community, and community would in exchange effortlessly. And so we used Twitter, Google Sheets, and Google Calendars. We didn't have the right technology at the time. It was 2009. We were way ahead of our time, but we did it anyway. And it was an experiment. And we had 30,000 participants who were exchanging, and it was never one for one. It was never, I'll give you $1 for that eggplant. I received the craziest things. Well, I'll tell you about that in a second. So when I was raising capital for FarmShare, because I knew that we were a new kind of platform, a peer-to-peer platform, an exchange, open source exchange system, investors had no clue what I was talking about. They kept asking me, how big is your farm? And I said, you're missing the point. This is a platform of exchange. That means there's transactions. And every time you add a person to the system, the thermodynamics of that expands. More and more people, there's more and more transactions. This is one of the most valuable commodities on the market. This is an ecosystem of opportunities. And they were like, so how big is your farm? So, and I remember at the time feeling like I failed. And for years, I looked back on that. I gave up on it. I walked away. After 4 years, we did a lot of service. We fed thousands of families. We created tons of farms. We did so much good in the world. We did urban farm school. We trained farmers. We had youth employment programs. It was phenomenal. And I walked away feeling like it was a failure because I didn't receive the thing I wanted to receive, which is the capital for the platform to really scale it and really bring it into the world. And it took me years to go back and say, you know what? That was success. That was absolute success because what I learned in the process, this is really fun, you guys. What I learned in the process, tell me if you've ever had this experience. I would love to hear about it in the chat. I listened to what other people told me to do when I was pitching this project to investors. They told me, Stacy, this is the way you need, this is the formula for pitching to investors. And I said, no, but you don't understand. Like, that doesn't take into account what this actually is. And it actually it's a disservice, it's a dishonor. It like doesn't tell the story. And they're like, no, 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 they won't understand it unless you put it in their terms. And I was like, okay. So I tried to put it in their terms. And guess what? They didn't understand it because authentically, I knew how to present that project in a way that they would understand, but I tried to fit it inside of somebody else's framework of how other people told me that finance works. Other people told me how investment works. So if you can rewrite your story and rewrite it the way you really feel it in your heart, you can change your entire timeline of everything. All right. That's why this one is so important. And now I have a completely different understanding. I've been working with financiers for years, and now I'm finding systems that reflect back to me infinite money loop systems. And so that is a reflection of me noticing that this was successful because I didn't listen to what anybody else was telling me. I focused on my intuition and what was right for me. And along the way, you don't know who you're going to meet. Along that pathway, who I met was my parents and their version of money. And I realized it didn't work for me. And that's okay. It worked for them. They are enjoying an amazing retirement, absolutely wealthy beyond measure, and that works for them. But their system is not the system that works for me. So to be true to myself and rewrite my own story. All right, so doorway number 3 is engaging. I call this imagine action because when you receive the message of I saw plaid or I smell a lemon, your next thing is to act on the best of your ability with what you've been given in that moment. And oftentimes people will say, okay, but what do I do with that? Like, I saw lemons or I saw plaid or I felt this or I whatever it was. Well, it's cryptic. It's weird and it doesn't seem like I have a way to act on that. You always have a way to act on it creatively when you use your imagination. If you were a little kid, how would you engage in the idea of lemon? How would you engage in that? Would you draw pictures of lemons? Would you go on a lemon hunt and just walk the street and say, okay, am I going left, right, or straight? And just see how quickly can you lead yourself to a lemon and who might you meet along the way? And I've had that experience where a treasure hunt is really phenomenal. You meet a business partner, you meet an investor, you meet a resource buddy, you meet a delightful person. So how can you act creatively on it? And there are, do you start including lemons in all your smoothies? Do you start creating lemonade? Do you, how do you incorporate this lemon creatively into your life? And this is about you specifically. So only you have the roadmap to this. All right. But you have to take action on what you were given today because it's only relevant today. If you let it go and you think, oh, I'll get to that later. I've got this big to-do list and I don't know what plaid means. I'll come back to that later. That to-do list is really it's distraction. It's like your intuitive self sent you a message and it wants you to act so that it can feed back more information. It gave you a step of some sort. So you need to take some kind of action on it. And I love this scene from Back to the Future, where they like get in this car and he's like, roads where we're going, we don't need roads. So I want you to throw away the roadmap that you think you have between where your business is and where it's going, or where your romance is and where you think it's going, where your finances are and where you think they're going, and the plan that you think is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's linear. That's going to take forever. I'm telling you, follow the lemon, follow the plaid. When you really honor it and find a creative way to honor it, you can throw away some of those plans and you will receive more than you realized. All right, alternating realities. So this one, I think we might just play with this one in the quantum activation rather than me talking about it, because it's not logical. It is the understanding that everything is here and now, and you allow yourself to feel so present to this moment that you see everything is just waiting for you. And it's like an echo chamber happens, and you see a lot more possibilities. We're going to play around with this one a little bit, but this is where you jump timelines because you're not attached. This is the big part about the alternating realities, is that you've accepted exactly where you are. You know this moment so wholly. You're like, I can feel the breath in my body. I can feel the taste in my mouth. I can feel every hair on my head. I feel so present. I've accepted this is exactly where I am. I know this so much that now anything else is possible. And I love in Spaceballs where they have this moment where it's like, when does this happen in the movie? And they're like, wait, this is now. We've caught up, because they're playing the movie backwards and forwards because they're trying to figure out what happens next. And they're like, this is where we were. And then they stop it. And it's like, now, we're here now. So we're going to play with that in the quantum activation. We're going to bring you into your now senses and see what you can tap into. And then matchmaking. And so I call this synchroimagination. And this is where you start to write down, journal evidence. This is you saying, I saw the plaid, I saw the lemon, I saw all those things, and I am going to acknowledge that I've seen evidence now today of my lemons, of my plaid. Something about this is leading me in the right direction, and I'm on the path. And the pieces, well, they're totally weird shaped. Take a look at these pieces. This is not your average puzzle. Well, it doesn't look like it's adding up to anything. I'm writing it down because divine timing is an interesting thing. There is sometimes you'll look back at what you wrote 3 months before and you realize that everything you wrote is true now, but you didn't realize it. And I'll tell you what I mean by this. I was writing in my journal that my grandest potential for my home was to um, live anywhere I wanted to live in the world, and to enjoy beautiful homes, beautiful gardens, to be in community, to be able to wake up every morning and be outside in my beautiful garden and enjoy the space. I wanted to be a part of a community that was loving and kind and generous and supported each other. And there was a couple other pieces of it, but basically when I wrote it, I thought I was writing about a regenerative community, that I lived in a village and everybody was supporting each other and all these different things were happening. And we had multiple villages around the world. And that's the way I saw it. But when I looked at my life, what I realized is that for the last 8 months, I have been on the road going where my body wanted to be. And I've been cat sitting and dog sitting. I've been meeting the most kind, generous people who open their doors, who basically allow me to experience their world. I get snuggles and cuddles of all the animals. Every place I've gone has had a beautiful garden, has had beautiful views, has had an amazing community that I just drop right into. And we have fun experiences. I was out on sailboats. I was here, I was there. And all of a sudden I realized that the regenerative communities that I thought were so far in the future, that I was experiencing it here and now. I don't have to build anything. The systems are there. I was using trusted house sitters and some other tools online, conscious community, Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, right? And so it's here already for you. And when you start to realize that the things that you wrote about are actually here and now, you're going to open more doors to what's potential. So here at Dreaming Earth, we do a lot of quantum leap activations, incubation of businesses. I'll talk more about that in a bit. And quantum leap adventures. I'm posting this image so you can get in your heart a little bit. We go to take people to the baby gray whales to experience what it's like to communicate with a 40-ton animal citation, and to have an experience where you say, all right, I'm going to look through the perspective of this whale. I'm going to be a part of the whale pod. And then you send a message telepathically and you say, I would love a high five. And a whale, and you send an image and you say, who wants to high five me? And you see a whale out on the horizon who waves its flipper at you. And you're like, all right, come on in. And it swims right up to you, looks you right in the eye, lifts a flipper and taps your hand. Like, it is phenomenal. So this is the kind of things that I know are possible. And they're possible not just here, but in your business, in your romance, in everything you want. So who here is ready for a little quantum activation for your vision? All right, so I'm really grateful that you guys are here. So let's tap into your heart. You've already tapped into the whale. We're going to do a really quick quantum activation here. And then I want to hear your experience in the chat box if you'd like to share. And of course, you're always willing, or you're always, if you need to journal it for yourself and not share publicly, I honor that as well. So go ahead and get comfortable in your body, whatever that looks like. I'm going to be moving around with my eyes closed just because my body wants to move a little bit, but you can do whatever you want. I oftentimes am sitting still for this just so I can be really present. So go ahead and inhale into your heart and inhale even deeper into your heart. Feel your heart and exhale out your mouth. And now think about something you absolutely love, a pet, an animal, a color, a place. Inhale into your heart and feel it expanding. Feel your heart expanding. And exhale out your mouth. And I want you to imagine for a moment that you are in the center of a giant stadium. You're right in the center, and it's a globe. You're actually floating in the middle of this giant three-dimensional spherical stadium. You're right in the center, and you're just floating. You're buoyant, and you're floating there. There's no gravity. You're just floating. You're held up by all that is. And I want you to imagine that stadium all around you are all these different faces of you. And some of them look a little bit like you. And some of them look nothing like you. And they're still you, all your different avatars. And this stadium is enormous. Like, you can't even count how many people, how many versions are in this stadium all around you. And you can feel their energy is all focused right on you. I want you to feel their gaze on you, feel their love on you, feel their blessings, feel their reception of you, just being you for you. Feel them receiving the gift of you, that you are this being of light just floating in the middle, and they are in awe. They are in awe, and they are just waiting for you to make a request. And just feel what that feels like for a moment. Just pause in the glowingness without making any requests quite yet. Just glow, just feel all of them looking at you, all of them in awe, all of them showering you with love and attention. And you might feel all kinds of sensations in your body. Allow yourself to feel whatever comes through. It might be a big ball of energy that hits you like a tidal wave. It might be an energy that kind of swirls up from your feet and lifts you higher. It might just be a kind of expansion where it feels like you're moving in every direction all at once. Just feel what it feels like for everybody to be beaming their energy right on you and receiving it just for being. That's all, just for you being here present now. And now I want you to imagine for a moment that this entire spherical stadium all around you, they've been beaming this energy at you, And you might have noticed that it's felt like gifts showering down on you. It might just feel subtle. It might feel like a little bit of energy, or it might feel like a lot. But I want you to imagine now that all of this energy that's been focused right on you, I want you to imagine that it is crystallizing in front of you and it's becoming something solid for you to experience, or something for you to smell, something for you to taste, something for you to open. Feel what might want to crystallize right in front of you. And it could be something very tiny, like a grain of sand. It could be something very expansive. It could be a portal. It could be anything. Feel what it is that they're offering you. And ask them to amplify this feeling. And now I want you to imagine that as you've been sitting here receiving all of this energy from them, you've done nothing. You've just sat here beaming your pure positive energy, and you've been sitting and receiving their love. That's all you've been doing, receiving, receiving, receiving. And it might feel like heat energy. I want you to notice that what's happened is you haven't noticed, but around you, there are doors that are opening up in all dimensions. There are many doors. They are all around you. And notice that there is one that maybe is catching your attention or more. And I want you to feel that door and just walk over to it. Actually, just float. Actually, no, let the door come to you. You don't even need to walk. Let the door come to you. And now just feel it. Feel what it feels like to be in the portal of that door. You don't have to walk through it if you don't want to. If you want to, if it feels like you're just whooshing right into it, go for it. If it feels like you're on the edge of that door and you're just feeling it out, is this the door I want to walk through? What does it feel like? What do you sense? What colors are you seeing? What shapes are you seeing? What sounds are you hearing? What are you feeling in your body? And you can choose again and again. You don't have to choose this door. You can look at other doors, look at other possibilities. I want you to explore as many doors as you would like to. And I'll give you a moment here in silence for you to be with your doors and just allow them to come to you. And feel your senses. Taste. Smell. What are you hearing? And now I want you to know that these doors are available. You can set an anchor point to come right back here and know that all these doors are here for you to explore. You didn't miss out on anything. You picked the perfect doors. Whatever came through was perfect, and you will receive the relevant information in the perfect timing. Even if all you felt was just an energetic expansion, it was perfect. If you fell asleep, it's perfect. Know that that information is available. And I want you to take whatever you have felt, seen, touched, smelled, heard. And now when you open your eyes, I want you to bring it with you into this version of you. All right. All right. So we moved a lot of energy. So take a moment to do what you need to do with this energy. Do you need to write something down to let yourself know what you smelled, what you tasted, what you touched, what you felt? Do you just want to lock in the feeling of it? Everybody's way is unique. One of the ways that it works for me is that I start to hear music and a song, and I write that down and I dance to it daily. Whatever it is that feels like the right way for you to take whatever you received and just make sure you've captured it here and now. With Dreaming Earth, I'm going to share just for 2 minutes here. I want to share a couple slides, and then I'm going to ask you if somebody wants to come off mute in just a moment. I want you to share either your experience or any questions you have, because they're going to help everybody else here. All right. So Dreaming Earth, we do a lot of this with Dreaming Earth. What I found in the world is that I learned at an early stage with BK Farmyards that I couldn't rely on the typical business roadmap because my intuition and my imagination got me way farther than any of the typical problem solution linear path. So Dreaming Earth Academy is a venture studio and learning hub where we incubate ideas from this planetary cooperation in harmony with our galactic family. That's our view of the world. We do incubator and adventures. And we understand that all parallel realities exist right now. We help people jump time and space to enjoy the reality they want now. So I'm not going to go into all about me, but I have been in the entrepreneurial world for a while with successful exits. I'm an award-winning architect with over $200 million in construction. I'm an advisor and trainer in business, professor of architecture. I've been a director of permaculture school, psychic medium, spiritual advisor to executive teams. So I've been around the block a bit in this territory. And I know that you are the technology that you've been waiting for. With your imagination, your intuition, and your empathy are the intelligences those are from your multidimensional self, and they're helping you with your business. Your business is consciousness that wants to emerge through you. And so are you harnessing your grandest potential with that business? And your creation, it begins in your imagination, which is why we start there. And so we have a model of incubating, connecting, training. You're experiencing some of it now with this Quantum Leap. We have showcases in front of investors, and we are creating an Earth Angels Fund that is going to be this infinite model loop. We're working with some interesting ideas around donor advisory funds and some other ideas. So what's possible when you're in the Quantum Leap? Hopefully you've experienced some of it already. Team coherence. If you're on an executive team, you want everybody moving in coherence. You want easy innovation, next logical step. You want magic to be the next how. And so I've helped people with non-linear results. Zaid received a free place to live and a new job that funded his dreams, and a music studio, which is what he really wanted, all in one day. Another client basically ditched her to-do list, and she basically connected to the right person, and she sold out her entire first product line, millions of dollars of product sold like overnight to the right people. You'll develop your own confidence. Christopher Life, founder of the Independent National Convention, was saying after 2 hours, life is never going to be the same. So I'm not going to talk about the 4 essentials of business innovation right now because I want to hear from you, but I do want to let you know that there are different ways to work with me through the Quantum Incubator and Academy. We've got private attunement sessions, which are one-on-one sessions. We have keynotes and group activations for your event if you want to bring something like this to your event, to bring coherence to your event. And we do that for executive teams too. So if you're somebody who's making a big change in a corporate world and you need to shift from one mindset to another, you want to bring everybody along with you. And then what's available for you today, we've got upgrade packages to this event today. While everything is free and online while you're here with us, we have the upgrade packages. We have the Dream Lab Pass for $88. You get the recordings of all of this, plus a 2-hour quantum activation with me, a group quantum activation that is specific to the people who purchase. And I also have the Quantum Leap 101, which gives you some private time with me to expand your business blueprint. And then the enterprise incubator is going to start in November, and that's where we do the full business incubation. and we have adventures. So if you want to be a part of a in-person adventure, here is a QR code. And I think Cammie's got a link to this WhatsApp group as well. Baby gray whale season is February 1st to March 30th. And we've also got a whole host of other Quantum Leap adventures coming up as well. So if you want to get on that list to know what's coming up, that is where you do that. All right. So I would love to hear questions or somebody's vision that they want a little bit of help with. We have a little bit of time here before Viraja joins us live. And let me just see. Who is there? Somebody who's got a hand up. I'm looking for a hand up. Anybody want to jump on or jump off mute? Do it. I can feel it. Somebody's there.
I have a hand up.
Oh, okay. I can't see you. Go for it.
You can't see me?
Hold on. For some reason it's not showing. Is it Joseph?
Yes.
There you go. Okay, go.
Can you see me? Because it's important.
Yeah, now I can see you.
Okay. Yeah, this is incredible. This is divine intervention. Everything that you have just talked about, I've been experiencing, and I'm right at that place where I have the thing, and it needs to come to the world. And it's been building and building and building, and I've just started kind of talking with people and trying to make it happen in different ways, shapes, and forms. And from what you sound, I know and I believe it can happen really quickly because this is a helping technology that's been wanting to come forth. And I saw that you're into architecture and engineering, so I know you'll understand it.
Mhm.
Um, how much time do I have just so I can try to
Couple
condense?
minutes because Viraj is going to be here in 4 minutes.
Okay, well, maybe we can save it for a one-on-one because it's really huge and important. But I just want to thank you.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, you can schedule a quantum attunement session. I can send you a link um, to a quantum attunement session if that makes the most sense.
sure,
We move fast. In an hour, you're going to be surprised how much we move, especially
wonderful.
when we get to go specific. So I would love that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, Anybody else want to share something that came through for them? And I loved what you said about there's this desire in our human world to like make it happen, right? We're like, I'm the center of my universe. I'm creating my universe. So I should be able to force it. But whenever you try to force it into being, what you're telling the universe is that I know better. I know better than infinite intelligence. And you're not allowing infinite intelligence to actually come through. I think I saw another hand. Who was it that popped up? Go for it, Naomi.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say when floating in a dome of all versions of me, it felt that's the feeling, right? So, having the feeling is what brings the future. And that feeling of simply existing and being so loved by every version of me is then what I'm going to hold in my heart while I'm visualizing my future and as I'm bringing in all the things that I'm quantum leaping to. So I just wanted to say thank you because that feeling was beautiful and it's something I can recall really easily because of how impactful it was in that moment.
Cool. Thank you so much. So, what you experienced was the Divine Mother. That was Divine Mother channeling through. She's very cute. She's very playful. She's giggly. And the Divine Mother is basically the womb of creation. It is the womb in which all things are created. And it's like she poops out new realities all the time. She's like, boop, boop, boop. And they're coming through you. And so, oftentimes, that womb of possibility is so vast that we want to turn to action. We want to be like, yeah, but like, what do I do? So I love that you guys allowed yourself to receive that, allowed yourself to float in that divine energy of Divine Mother. She's been channeling through me for the last couple weeks, and my reality has 180 just whoop. It's been really fabulous. Anybody else have a quick share before, and you can post in the chat box anything else that came up. I see Viraj is coming into the room, so we're going to be pulling her up on stage here in just a moment. Is there let me look. Madeline says, do I need a business? No. The money thing is disturbing, aiming for direct contact with life, spirit, and nature. So it's so interesting because Madeline, anything is available to you. So for some people, they really love business. They love it as a vehicle of creation in the world, but you can create any way you want. If you think about an artist, what do? They express themselves, and then somebody purchases their artwork because it made them feel. So the only purpose of art is how somebody feels. That's why somebody buys it. And so you get to be the artist of your own creation. If you want to do business, that's great. But if you want to come and do Quantum Leap adventures with me and focus on romance or focus on spirituality and connecting to your guides, then that's absolutely what we're going to be doing anyway, because that's all we're ever doing. The business is just the outward expression. And I just happen to have a direct channel through Archangel Metatron and some others that really channels through innovation in a way that turns out to be business oftentimes, systemic things, foundational things like built infrastructure. But guess what? If you really believed it was possible, your walls could move in front of your face. If you really believed it was possible, your wall could dissolve in front of you and you could see through it. Because if you think about it this way, if you're sitting in a room, you know what's on the other side of that wall. You've seen it before. So right now you could tap into the knowing that you've seen what's on the other side of the wall, but you can do that regardless of where you are. And if you know what's on the other side or not, this is kind of a metaphor for the veil, is that you can tap into the knowing that you can see it. So anyway, little side note there. So it can be anything that you want to experience on the Quantum Leap adventures with me. I would love to be your guide. It's one of my joys in life. We have so much fun. I've done 3-day adventures with people in person. We frolic like you wouldn't believe, and then gifts just pour down. Zaid received a place to live. He was homeless, a place to live, a music studio to create his music. He was a musician, that wannabe musician, and he received a job that allowed him to also bring a bunch of cash into the bank. So you can receive it all at once if you're open to it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to share this, but and then I'll bring Viraja on. Somebody said sensed violet, word amethyst, and freedom. Thank you. Those are all confirmations for I saw all of that as well. And this is interesting. Myself sent me a pomegranate, and as I was enjoying it, a wizard's door came to me, and I felt like it was the passing through the door back and forth. That was the continuous wizard. It reminded me of something I've said before, that I'd rather be a wizard than a king. Okay, you guys, I gotta grab this. Hold on. All right. Check this out. The trees have been raining pomegranates down on me, and I have been nonstop pomegranates over here. I've been eating pomegranates 5 times a day. So thank you for that. That's total confirmation as well for everything that's been experiencing over here. Okay,